In this video, we're going to look at some of the small service updates that were made in the Microsoft 2022 fall release. So they've done email layouts, the ability to use different layout descriptions similar to what you can do in other areas, and the ability on standard service codes to be able to include inventory and non-inventory were introduced in this release. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to look at our report selections for service. So you've got the jobs, you've got sales, you've got purchasing. So we're going to focus here on the service area. And they've just extended really your abilities here. So again, as you see in other areas, you've got your usage section. So you can drop down and indicate whether you're dealing with a service quote, a service order, a contract, a shipment. So once you've selected whatever area that you want, so let's say I'm dealing with the service order, similar to what you would see on the sales order side or the purchase order side, you would pick your report ID. You could indicate if you want to use that layout for the email body. You can indicate if that's used for just the attachment on the email during the send function. And then again, if you've got a different email body description that you want to use, you can use a different layout for that so that maybe it just has a snippet of the information or not something quite as complete as the full PDF. But this functionality was really, really used on the sales and purchasing side, but lacked a little bit on the service side. So Microsoft has just streamlined that in all of the different areas, which has been a really nice add for a lot of those folks who use service. So the other thing that they've done on the service side is they've allowed you guys using standard service codes to be able to include the typical GLs, resource items, the stuff that you know and love, but they also extended the capability to be able to add non-inventory items to standard sales codes. So if we look at our service orders, got a service order here. So just basic standard service order. We've got a review of the cooling systems. So if we go ahead and we look at our functions, you have your get standard service code. So that's a function that, again, on the sales and purchasing side was pretty robust. Gives you the ability to be able to pre-populate lines that are maybe something that's done on a recurring basis. So if you go into your standard sales code, so I'll just drill in and take a look at a standard site visit. So you'll notice here, I just have one item just to keep it really simple, but I have this visit, which is marked as being an item. But if you actually drill in and you take a look at that item card, you would be able to see that this is actually set as being a service item. Again, non-inventory items would be considered. So one of the enhancements that they actually made in a release last year was the ability on planning and requisition worksheets to be able to add non-inventory items. So again, they've just taken that one step further and allowed you guys to be able to use that in the service module as well. So now when you go ahead and you apply that standard sales code, it will go ahead and it adds that item line. And as I mentioned, you have the ability to also add GL lines, resource lines, comment lines, all the stuff that you were able to in the past.
Thanks for joining me and taking the time to watch. As always, my goal here is really just to bring some of those frequently asked questions and questions about Business Central to a broader audience in the community. If there's a feature video that you're looking to see or more questions about the feature that we just went over, please use my contact information to reach out. Again, I want to make sure that it's relevant. I want to make sure that it would hit a larger audience, and I'm really open to suggestions from you in the community.